Small consistency wins over big profits. Close my eyes, take a slow breath in, and slowly breathe out. Again, breathe in and breathe out. I allow my body to relax. I allow my mind to become quiet. There is nothing I need to chase right now. Nothing I need to prove. Nothing I need to force. I am simply preparing my mind to become a consistent trader. I remind myself of something very important. I do not need huge profits to succeed. I do not need spectacular monthly returns. I do not need to double my account quickly. I do not need one massive trade. I do not need to make a fortune this month. My goal is much simpler. Consistency. I imagine myself taking a small, clean winning trade. A base hit. A controlled move. Perhaps 1 or 2 points. I take the profit. I don't feel disappointed. I don't think, I should have held for more. I don't think, I missed the bigger move. I simply say, that was a good trade. I followed my plan. I managed my risk. I took what the market gave me, and I move on. I remind myself, a small win is still a win. A controlled loss is still manageable. One good decision is valuable, and thousands of good decisions can create something much bigger over time. I don't need every trade to be a 4. I don't need every trade to be a 6. I don't need the entire move. I need my piece of the move. Singles, doubles, occasional bigger winners, when the market naturally gives them to me. I imagine myself playing a long game, not one day, not 1 week, not 1 month, years. I am building a trading process that can survive for years. I don't want explosive growth followed by explosive drawdowns. I want something much more powerful. Repeatability. I remind myself, slow money can become big money when it compounds. A small consistent return, repeated again and again, can become significant. I don't need to force the process. I need to allow time to work. I think about a reasonable monthly goal. 5%. I remind myself, 5% in a month is already a meaningful return. I don't need to think, I must make 10. I must make 15. I must make 20. I don't need to compete with imaginary returns. I don't need to compare myself with someone else's best month. My objective is not, how much can I make this month? My objective is, can I execute my edge consistently this month? If I make 5%, I can be satisfied. If I make 3% with excellent discipline, I can be satisfied. If I make 0 because the market gave me poor conditions, I can still be satisfied if I protected my capital and followed my rules. My self-worth as a trader is not determined by 1 month's P and L. I remind myself, I am building a machine. The machine is my process. The machine consists of patience, market selection, setup selection, risk management, execution, psychology, and discipline. If I keep the machine working, the results can compound. I imagine a small snowball. At first, it is tiny. It doesn't look impressive, but it keeps rolling. And gradually, it becomes larger. Not because I forced it to become large overnight, but because I allowed consistency and time to do their work. That is how I think about my trading. Small wins, repeated. Controlled risk, repeated. Good decisions, repeated. Patience, repeated. And over time, the results can become meaningful. I don't need to hit a home run today. I need to avoid striking out. I need to protect my capital. I need to remain in the game. I remind myself, the trader who survives can compound. The trader who blows up cannot compound. The trader who repeatedly gives back profits cannot compound. The trader who constantly increases risk cannot compound. The trader who chases huge returns cannot compound sustainably. So I choose consistency. I choose controlled risk. I choose patience. I choose longevity. Now imagine, I have a very good trading day. I made a nice profit. I feel excited. My brain says, maybe I can make much more. I recognize that thought. I don't immediately increase my size. I don't become aggressive. I don't turn a good day into a gambling session. I protect the profit. Now imagine I have a small losing day. I feel disappointed. But I don't panic. I don't think, I need to make it back tomorrow. I don't increase my size. I don't revenge trade. I accept it. A small losing day is part of the process. I remind myself, one day doesn't matter nearly as much as the quality of hundreds of decisions. I imagine my equity curve. It doesn't move straight upward. There are small pullbacks. There are flat periods. There are winning periods. There are losing periods. There are days when nothing happens. And that is normal. I don't demand a perfectly smooth equity curve. I demand controlled risk. I imagine reaching a new equity high. I don't become euphoric. I don't suddenly want to make even more. I pause. I protect the high. I remind myself, the objective is not to give it back. I remain disciplined. Now I imagine the opposite. I am having a difficult period. The market is choppy. My setups aren't working. I feel frustrated. I want to increase my size. I want to make back the money quickly. But I stop. I remind myself, I don't need to recover quickly. I need to recover intelligently. And sometimes, the intelligent decision is simply to wait. I don't force 5%. I don't force 10%. I don't force profit. The market decides what it gives me. My job is to extract my portion without taking unnecessary risk. I remind myself, I cannot control the market's return. I can control my size, my risk, my entries, my exits, my patience, my frequency, my discipline, and my decision to stop. Now I imagine gradually increasing my position size, but only after proving consistency. I don't increase size because I am excited. I don't increase size because I had one great week. I don't increase size because I want to make more money immediately. I increase size only when my process has demonstrated that it deserves to be scaled. The strategy remains the same. The setups remain the same. The risk discipline remains the same. The psychology remains the same. Only the size gradually changes. I remind myself, I scale the proven process. I don't scale the emotion. Imagine starting small, then becoming consistent, then gradually increasing size, then becoming consistent again, then increasing slightly, then becoming consistent again, slowly, carefully, patiently. This is how small results can eventually become meaningful results. Not through desperation, not through gambling, not through one massive trade, but through consistency, discipline, time, and compounding. I imagine looking back years from now. I don't remember every individual trade. I don't remember every 1-point win. I don't remember every small loss. But I see something much more important. I see that I stayed in the game. I protected my capital. I controlled my risk. I gradually improved. I gradually increased size. And my results compounded. I remind myself, I don't need to become rich quickly. I need to become consistent. Then, I allow consistency to create growth. I don't need today's trade to change my life. I don't need today's profit to make me feel successful. Today's job is simply make a good decision, then another, then another. One good trade, one good decision, one disciplined day, one disciplined week, one disciplined month, then another, and another. I see myself taking a small winning trade. I take the profit. I smile. I don't chase more. I don't feel that I left money on the table. I say, I took what the market gave me, and I wait for the next opportunity. I see another setup. Perhaps it gives me another small win. Again, I don't force more. I remain calm. I am building consistency. Then one day, the market gives me a large move, the perfect environment, strong volatility, clear trend, excellent setup. I allow the trade to develop, and perhaps this becomes one of my larger winners. A 4, maybe a 6, maybe more. But I don't expect it. I don't demand it. I don't chase it. The market gives it to me. That is the difference. I don't try to manufacture big profits. I allow big profits to be the occasional consequence of being positioned correctly when the market provides the opportunity. My baseline remains small, repeatable wins. I remind myself, singles and doubles build confidence. Occasional 4s and 6s build the equity curve faster. But I don't need the 4s and 6s every day. I don't need a spectacular month. I need a disciplined month. Then another disciplined month. Then another. I imagine 12 months of disciplined trading. Not 12 months of perfect trading. 12 months of controlled risk. 12 months of patience. 12 months of avoiding catastrophic mistakes. 12 months of allowing the edge to work. That is powerful. I remind myself, longevity is a strategy. Consistency is a strategy. Patience is a strategy. Capital preservation is a strategy. I am not trying to win the trading year in 1 month. I am building the year, 1 month at a time. I don't compare myself with traders showing huge returns. I don't know their risk. I don't know their drawdowns. I don't know how sustainable their results are. I only know my process. And my process is protect, wait, execute, manage, compound. I take another slow breath, in and out. I feel the pressure leaving my mind. I don't need to make huge profits. I don't need to prove anything. I don't need to force the market. I say to myself, 5% is enough. If the market gives me 5%, I accept it. If the market gives me 3%, I accept it. If the market gives me 1%, I accept it. If the market gives me nothing, I protect my capital. I do not manufacture returns. I remind myself, a small positive month is better than a spectacular month, followed by a devastating drawdown. I choose the boring path. The boring path is powerful. The boring path is repeatable. The boring path can compound. I don't need excitement. I need consistency. I don't need huge wins. I need controlled wins. I don't need maximum returns. I need sustainable returns. And when the time is right, I can increase size. Slowly, gradually, responsibly. The same strategy, with slightly more size. Then I prove consistency again. Then perhaps I increase again. Slowly, patiently. I remind myself, I don't rush the compounding process. Compounding needs time. My job is to keep the capital alive long enough for the compounding to matter. I imagine my future self, calm, disciplined, experienced, not chasing, not gambling, not desperate, not trying to make 10% today, simply executing, day after day, month after month, year after year. I realize something. The biggest threat to my long-term trading success is not missing a big move. It is destroying the consistency I have already built. So I protect consistency. I protect the equity curve. I protect my mental capital. I protect my confidence. I remind myself, I don't need to make a fortune today. I need to avoid making a mistake that damages my future. Now I breathe deeply, in and slowly out. I feel calm. I feel patient. I feel comfortable with small wins. I am comfortable leaving money on the table. I am comfortable missing a move. I am comfortable taking 1 or 2 points. I am comfortable waiting. Because I understand now. The market doesn't reward me for wanting more. It rewards me for managing risk and executing well. I don't chase the big win. I build the small win. I don't chase the big month. I build the consistent month. I don't chase rapid growth. I build sustainable growth. 1 trade, 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, then another. Small consistency wins over big profits. Consistency creates confidence. Consistency protects capital. Consistency allows compounding. Compounding creates scale. Scale eventually creates meaningful income. And I don't need to rush any of it. I take 1 final breath. I breathe in and breathe out. I feel calm. I feel patient. I feel detached from today's P&L. I am focused on the long game. I say to myself, I don't need a huge month. I need a good month. Then another good month. And another. I don't need to hit home runs. I need base hits. I don't need to force 4s and 6s. I allow them to come naturally. I don't need to increase risk to make more money. I increase size only after proving consistency. Slowly, gradually, patiently. My job is not to get rich quickly. My job is to become consistently good. And then I let time, discipline, and compounding do the heavy lifting. I am patient. I am disciplined. I am consistent. I protect my capital. I protect my mind. I take the base hit. I walk away. I wait for the next pitch. And I keep playing the long game. 1 disciplined trade at a time. 1 disciplined day at a time. 1 disciplined month at a time. Let consistency compound.